Welcome back to the Money Hour with your host and mortgage expert, Tina Mitchell, right here on 1150 AM KKNW at the Saturday, June 20th show, bringing in expert advice and inside knowledge on today's events in our local economy and how it can affect your money. If you're listening to my show at a different time or day, you are listening to a rebroadcast, but you can always call the show at 1-855-400-1150. Again, that's 1-855-400-1150 or online at themoneyhour.com. Ask any questions that you have. I can connect you with the guest I have in studio, and any suggestions you have for upcoming shows. Always am open to listening to what you want to hear. In studio right now, I have Aaron Murphy with ADM Architecture. In your golden years, would you like to maintain your independence and age in place? Talk with an expert on how to help and make this happen. Aaron, thank you so much for coming back in studio. Always appreciate having you across the desk for me and sharing your wealth of information with my listeners.
Oh gosh, thank you. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. And a little bit about Aaron. Aaron is the owner and is an architect at his own firm, ADM, and in the Seattle area, Poulsbo, Washington, since 2009, a licensed architect since 2003, and has been in the industry for 20 plus years as a designer as well as a real estate investor. In the last 6 years, he's added to his resume by becoming a published author on empowering housing solutions for baby boomers and their families, as well as paid speaker around the advocacy about aging in place, speaking a local and regional level, and even at national conferences such as the American Society on Aging in Chicago, and was even chosen and hired internationally as the architect on aging to do a TV show on the subject in Japan. So Aaron, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about it's been a little while since I've had you in studio on the show, and tell us a bit about what you've been working on since the last time that we talked.
Sure. Well, thanks for such a glowing introduction. For
a glowing guy.
Well, thank you. So, I don't sit still well. So in the last 5 years, I've, with regard to, you mentioned what I've added to the resume. Mm-hmm. I've been speaking once a month around Western Washington and, like you said, Chicago, Tokyo. More recently, whether it's a Rotary Club or Kiwanis or Chamber of Commerce, doesn't matter. I'm an advocate and speak to aging in place and empowering housing. And whether it's financial planners or certified senior advisors, there's a lot of people that are tied into making sure that our boomer consumers are protected and that they can plan and save money in retirement and do all the things that you do, which is why I'm here. And I saw the overlap and appreciated the invitation. So
just so stepping up your speaking, which I know that's a part of the business that you're really passionate about, is really education and helping people figure out and plan ahead of time so that they can be in a position that they can enjoy their retirement years.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I see housing as a hub of a wheel.
Yes.
Right. And financial planning's a spoke, and mortgages a spoke, and in-home care is a spoke. But, that's home base to us. That's where our environment and our belongings and our memories and our garden and our pet. And if you don't plan, then you slip and fall and break a hip, and one of your kids puts you in assisted living. That's not empowering.
Exactly. It makes total sense. So I've heard that you've had a really important project that small business owners are going to be interested in, and I'm really excited for you to share that with my listeners.
I appreciate that. Yeah, last time we talked, I was speaking more on the consumer side of things, but Mark Hager is the CEO of AgeInPlace.com, and Mark lives in Tennessee, but he was my connection to somebody in LA, which is how I got to Tokyo. Funny how technology makes this a small world. So when I got back from Tokyo, Mark and I got into much deeper discussions about what we were both seeing and hearing and getting asked about by small business owners all around the United States and even abroad. So now we are joint venture partners on a B2B venture called Booming Your Bottom Line, which started in January as a weekly podcast and a free resource for small business owners. And now we have moved into launching BYBLlive.com and doing trainings both virtually and live on site if needed for CEOs and their staff, teaching them how you reach, connect, and engage with the boomer consumer and their families and caregivers. There's a paradigm shift that needs to happen, and leadership and expertise that all of us have, all those small business owners. If you're providing a service or you're providing products to the boomers and their families, you need to know how to connect, reach, and engage with those folks and how to do it right. They think in different ways. They buy differently. But boy, they actually look for loyalty, unlike you might hear about millennials who like to try all sorts of new things.
Yes.
They are looking for a place to be loyal. They're great references and referral bases. So we started talking to business owners.
And how exciting, and you mentioned small world and technology. The small world is really the entire world, and really meeting with people and the connection, just really having those connections. And that's what I love so much about the show, is to be able to bring all experts like yourself in to just share everything regarding money. So how did you get involved with this?
Yeah. So, again, Mark and I got to talking when I got back from Tokyo, and we both started down this path of passion and expertise by speaking with people about their finances, second half of life, how to get the best ROI with their investing around housing and healthcare. Okay. And for me, that started with aging in place architecture, and I'm CAPS certified, which is a certified aging in place specialist. And just that you're going to be living home, home to me means longer, happier, healthier, and wealthier when you compare it to the cost of assisted living or a nursing home. And again, I think that, AARP polls say 89% of us would choose that as a first choice. So, but then Mark and I got to discussing how many conversations he was having on the B2C side, navigating retirement planning to stay home, getting the care you needed, and the finance discussions and all of that to stay independent, keep your autonomy, and stay in your own community as long as possible. So now we're on the, talking more on the B2B side. And again, that boomer consumer and that small business owner really are the key to our economy. 95% all job creation in the U.S. comes from small business. And we can help you grow and expand your company by tapping into the most financially capable and educational savvy group of consumers we have, the boomers.
So, Aaron, why are the aging baby boomers so important to small business owners?
That's a great question. Mark and I continue to, push our weekly podcasts and roll out the new coaching and stuff. And through doing our homework, we figured out that, boomers have 5 times the net worth of the U.S. average. There's 78 million people that started turning 65 in January 2011. Wow. There's 15 more years of that. 85-year-olds between 1950 and 2040 go from 0.5% to 5% of the population. That's a tenfold increase. So you have to ask yourself as a business owner, what are you doing different, better, or going further than your competition to set yourself apart for them?
So, Aaron, how does it affect small business owners?
Well, to be honest, most people are just asking, how do I get more clients as a general rule? So marketing, SEO, things like that. And then we want to tell them how to get more boomer clients, okay? Because again, I mentioned they're the largest and financially some of the most powerful people in the United States. And so what are we doing to invest in ourselves and our businesses to understand them so that you can lead your industry, beat your competition, and make a difference in your own community by becoming age friendly and being able to make more money and give back.
Yeah, exactly. So let's talk about how they can, another way of taking, really maximizing in this opportunity and helping the seniors. And how do they actually get started, Aaron?
Sure. I think the right place to start right now would be to get caught up on our first 6 months of podcasts at bybl.live.com. And you can join our professional Facebook group and get in touch with Mark and I to figure out if you're a good fit for the coaching program. So we're really passionate about this thing. And if you think this is your year and you want to make some shifts in your company that will allow you to serve better, which is really what all of us in the industry of caring for others, and that's what we're all about. So, and
with the all the expertise that that you have, I know, Aaron, I don't know Mark, but I think just really being able, we can only do so much ourselves, and really being able to share the knowledge that we have with other professionals and help to coach and train them into a position that they can do the best for whatever business model that they're, or clients that they're looking at is huge. So is there any place else that they can go to get more information and to get all the valuable information that you have to share?
Yeah, sure. So again, I think home base on that is bybl or bybl.live.com.
Okay.
But you can get a hold of me. I'm not shy. 360-440-8475. Call my cell phone. I don't care. We're accessible. We're easy to talk to, and we'd love to have that conversation with anybody that sees the opportunity that we saw.
Yep. So anything else that you're doing for the small business owners and helping them with this opportunity, Aaron?
Well, I think if you just step back for a second and say, what if, right? What if I got SEO right? Or what if I train my staff how to talk to people on the showroom floor better? What if that created 3 new clients a month?
Yep.
What if that was worth $1,500 a year per client? Okay, you do that kind of math, and suddenly investing in coaching, investing in yourself and your small business is a no-brainer. Okay,
Yes.
the ROI on that to get it right and be first and be best. And like I said, for me, it's the chance to give back to your community. And I think that growing your business is good for your community, your economy, and you get to serve more people and help more people. So
Aaron, you were talking about weekly podcast,
Yep.
Private Facebook group, virtual training going on.
Mm-hmm.
So what's next for the Booming Your Bottom Line, and what's coming ahead?
Yeah, well, we've actually started conversations with many of the certifications that happen at the national level. So like I said, CAPS people, designers that are certified aging in place specialists. There are CSAs, or in your industry, right? Real estate SRES is a designation for
Yes.
realtors.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that has a senior certification, we are having conversations at a national level with incorporating our training into their system. So
Okay.
for those of us that serve in any capacity, financial planner, elder law attorney, it applies to everybody. So I think it's really just about knowing how to again, connect,
Yes.
engage, and make a difference with helping our boomers and their families and caregivers. We talked about this before we started. Everybody has a personal story right
Yes.
now as a caregiver or dealing with the parent, and then you're next, and you don't want to do that to your kids. So this will go on a while.
So talking to my listeners directly, for our seniors that are listening to the show, or for their children and their grandchildren that are listening to the show, why is it so important for them to start preparing right now for aging in place?
What I don't want people to do is be making decisions in a financial and emotional backpedal. Okay. And that's what happens, right? We all have a friend of mine, Mark in California, calls it Cleopatra Syndrome, the queen of denial.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. It's an uphill battle to try to overcome the psychology of aging. It's the best kept secret. And if you're lucky, you get to experience it firsthand, unless you like the alternative.
Yeah.
Okay. So really, it's just, we have to make a paradigm shift, and we have to accept, but we can become our local experts by training and educating. And that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, and I know from having you in studio and being around different industries that are passionate about helping our seniors in all areas, and we're not just talking about senior living, but we're talking about your estate planning, your financial planning, really preparing with your mortgage before you get a home, understanding the preparation for moving, taking care of ourselves emotionally. I mean, all of it is really thinking ahead and preparing ahead. And I really like the tips that you shared at the home show, and that you've shared with my listeners, in all of the things that could happen that you don't really think about, that you can prepare your home ahead of time to make sure that you are ready to stay in your home if you choose to. And just getting the education and knowing what options are available. I don't like to say overcoming objections, but I like to say eliminating objections. And that's by educating and finding out up front. So Aaron, thank you so much for coming into the studio as always. And a call to action for any of my listeners out there that have parents that are getting to that next stage in life. If you are one of those getting into the next stage in life, to pick up the show and pick up the phone and give my show a call at 1-855-400-1150, or you can go online at themoneyhour.com, and I can directly connect you with Aaron, and you can answer any questions and get any information of his wealth of information he has to share. Aaron, thank you so much for coming back in studio.
Always a pleasure. Thanks, Tina.
And coming up next in the Money Hour, are you too busy to even think about preparing for a pending move? Well, that's okay, because I have Lori Lamoureux with Seamless Moves right here on 1150 AM KKNW after this short break.